up this question. What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house! When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready? I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up the chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. He can be a hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready? I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
No, that is just the show getting started right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK, all new 92.3 FM, and on streaming live on KYOKradio.org. We're also the home of TD Blackshirt and Table Talk. You can catch that every Tuesdays. TD Blackshirt is back by popular demand on from 10 a.m. to 11. And you don't want to miss that. Plus, the Not So Christian in Me show comes on every Saturday from 1 to 2. One of the most creative shows out there. Just real creative, great guests, great hosts, great stuff going on. We're also the home of Erica Campbell and Griff Get Up Mornings. Not Tom Joyner, but Gospel Tracks with Walt Baby Love. So we got a lot going on right here on the legendary KYOK. Shiloh Radio, Call to Inspire, all that happening right here on the legendary KYOK. And we had a lot going on in the world of sports this weekend. A lot going on in the world of sports. And I got to tell you, I love the U of H Cougars. I love the U of H Cougars. But, man, Baylor reminded everyone why they've been one of the top teams in the country, bar none, bar COVID, bar whatever, this weekend when they out U of H'd U of H. They did to U of H what U of H normally does to other people. They out-hustled them on defense. They out-hustled them on the offensive glass. They definitely outscored them. And Baylor is moving on to represent the state of Texas in the national championship game. Hey, Nicholas Hines, how you doing? Keith Hennick, what up, though? CJ, I see you. I mean, Baylor looked like a number 1 seed. They looked like the number 2 team in the country. They look like the best team in the state of Texas. And UT, leave me alone today. We're not talking about y'all. Chris Beard, you got him, all that. We're talking about the ones that have gotten where they need to be at a time like this part of the season. Baylor has a great chance to win tonight. They do. Baylor has a great chance to get a win, get a dub tonight. And I'm not just saying that because I'm in Texas. Baylor got a chance to get a dub tonight. And if they come out and play anything like what they did against U of H, then guess what? It can and it will get done tonight. But let me say this. Gonzaga. Oh, Gonzaga. Let's see if I can't get it. I don't know if that's it or not. Let me see.
Gonzaga has time to do something. Sox for the win. Perfect season remains on go.
Let me run it again.
Again with the ball in his hands in the paint. Floater, short, got it back, ties it with three. Gonzaga has time to do something. Sox for the win.
Oh, was all I could say after Gonzaga pulled that one out against UCLA in overtime in game 2 of the Final Four. What a game. Hats off to UCLA. I apologize. I'm not reading a statement. I'm just going to flat out come off the rip. I apologize, UCLA. Y'all are a lot better than I thought you were. And, man, what a game. I thought the young man, what's his name? Jutang, what's his name? I thought he had pulled it out and sent them into double OT. But I tell you what, the young man from Gonzaga, if y'all correct me one more time on Gonzaga and Gonzaga, I don't know what I'm going to do. But that young man pulled that thing out. Just over half court, gathered himself and launched and bang off the glass into the net. Ball game. And what's crazy, after he shot it, he started doing that lean like, I think that's going to go in. He had time to say, yeah, I think that's going to go in. Where am I getting ready to go? Style and profile. Baby, he was like the nature boy, Ric Flair. I'm styling, I'm profiling. He got up on that table and gave about 8,000 fans something to cheer for. And I was happy for him. Happy for Gonzaga. Tough loss for UCLA. Great game. Hope it's going to be an equally as good matchup tonight. But hey, that's what the men got in. It was a great Final Four. For all you who are saying U of H was out of their league, no, they weren't. You don't get to the Final Four and you're out of your league. You don't. Sorry. Say that one for another show. We're not running with that here. Cougs had a great season. They just ran into a better team that executed better than the Cougs did in the game that mattered. You could tell the Cougs were pressing. They were turning the ball over uncharacteristically. They got beat on the offensive glass uncharacteristically, and they couldn't buy a shot for, large chunks of time at, stretches at a time, pressing, trying to do too much. But they will be back. U of H will be back. So there you go. That's what I got for the opening rant segment. 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000 if you want to get in about March Madness on the men's side, because when I come back from the break, I'm going to touch on it from the women's side. I got a statement I'm going to make. I'm not going to read. I got a statement I'm going to make, and I want to get your thoughts on it. It's Media Monday. Keisha, Kelley from Black College Experience going to be joining us. So stay tuned. Going to be a real good show. Again, it's the lunch break on the legendary KYOK, all new 92.3 FM, and streaming live on KYOKradio.org.
God, this is the prayer of your
Attention business owners, listen carefully to this important message. Are you tired of struggling with monthly bookkeeping or always being behind? Maybe you're fed up with paying your CPA ridiculously high hourly rates for subpar services. At Finance Pal, we know your pain. We're small business owners who understand your tax and accounting needs. At Finance Pal, we take over your books and design a program custom tailored to fit your needs. Whether it's bookkeeping, payroll, bill pay, inventory tracking, or taxes, we have you covered. We handle some or all of these services for one flat, affordable, low monthly fee. Stop worrying about your books and drowning in paperwork. Let us worry while you focus on growing your business. This setup is easy, and we give you the tools and technology to make your monthly finances streamlined and organized. Call now for a free business assessment.
800-213-9527. 800-213-9527. 800-213-9527. That's 800-213-9527. Here's an important COVID-19 school system update for your local area. If you're concerned about your child's education, please pay close attention to this message. The current school systems were not set up for at-home learning. If you're worried that your child may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, may be losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades, help is available to you. Call Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring and help your child with any subject at every grade level, even for test prep. They're experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field and confident they can help you and your child get better grades today. Call now for your free consultation. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. That's 800-580-7680.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
This is Jasmine Highsmith, and you're having SIDM Sports with your lunch here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
Yeah, man, the lunch break will make you jump, TD Blackshirt. The lunch break will make you jump, greatest. Desiree Battles, the lunch break will make you jump. Monique Mosley, what it do, baby? Let's just say how you feel, Dre. Hey, Dre, how you feel with my hands? But listen, with everything going on right now, I'll try to feel nobody else. I ain't. All right, let me go ahead and get that piece of news out of the way. So on Friday, we got notification that a actual police report was filed in conjunction with Deshaun Watson. So now Houston Police Department is investigating the police report. They have not opened an investigation into all the other civil suits. They've opened an investigation into the police report that they've received concerning Deshaun Watson. And attorney Rusty Harden, representing Deshaun Watson, says they welcome the police report because now they will have the opportunity to learn the identity of one of the accusers. And a lot of folks took exception to that, like, oh, now we're going to smear her name, or now we're going to go after her, or we're going to do something seditious to her. Not how it works. When you know the name of the accuser, you know how to properly defend yourself. You can now say, oh, I never called her, I never saw her, or hey, when I called her, here's my phone records and my text. When you know who it is, you know how to properly defend yourself. Y'all, this is not an episode of Law and Order or, Blue Bloods. It's not an episode of that. When you know the identity of the person that has accused you, you know how to defend yourself. You can go specifically to verifiable evidence and records to say that's not what happened. But when you don't know, all you can do is guess. Well, I don't know who's saying what. I might have talked to him. I might not have. I might have had a relationship. I might not. I don't know who it is. So do me a favor and let this thing play out. Everybody was saying, well, how come they didn't go to the plea? They have now. Well, how come they didn't do that? Somebody has now. So let it run its course. Let the legal people do what they have to do to either get justice for the ladies or exonerate Deshaun Watson. So let me get that out. All right, so in the women's Final Four, what a game between South Carolina and Stanford. What a game. Man, South Carolina had several point-blank opportunities to take that one to the bus. I mean, they had several point-blank opportunities to take that one to the bus, and it just it just would not go down. It just would not happen, and therefore the women of South Carolina ended up losing, and the Stanford Cardinal went on to the national championship game. That first game was 66-65. If South Carolina could have just got one of those multiple putbacks, man, that it would have been a whole different game. Kudos to South Carolina. They got outplayed the whole game, but they got it within a point, closing seconds of the game, with a chance to win. Don Staley is doing a phenomenal job at South Carolina and should be celebrated, applauded, and spotlighted. I mean, she's the women's national coach for the Olympics team, so she's getting some respect. But I'm talking about in the media, in the sports world, all of that. And I'll get to Draymond Green in a minute. I'll get to Draymond Green, Dan Orlowski, Kevin Durant. I got questions and comments about all of them. Kirk Herbstreit pulled a solid one. So anyway, let me get back to the win. In the late game, it was one of those, there's no chance. Arizona had no chance on paper and out of the mouths of most of the experts in the final matchup against UConn. UConn was supposed to be a walkover for UConn, and I think I might have been one of those ones that linked towards UConn, but that's why they play the games. That's why they tip it up. That's why they keep score. That's why they play the whole thing. There's no mercy rule in basketball. You just keep that thing running. And sure enough, Arizona, number 3 seed, got by UConn, not by 1, not by 2, not by 5, doggone it, not even by 7. They beat them by 10. Arizona beat them 69-59. And I loved it. Young lady that we had on the show, one of the 30 under 30 for Forbes magazine, Christina Williams, got a chance to ask a question of the head coach. And I got to tell you, I loved it. Let me see if I can't pull that up. Christina's amazing. And I'm glad she got a chance to do her thing. Here we go. Here she is. Yeah. Yeah, let me see if I can't.
Go ahead. Hey, Coach. From some Girls Talk Sports TV, my question for you is, tonight you made history.
Uh-oh, hang on. All right, let's see if we got it here.
My question for you is, tonight you made history as the 5th Black head coach to advance to a national championship round. What does this moment mean to you in terms of the significance of it, and what is your message for young girls and boys who may be looking at you right now for inspiration?
It means a lot, and I actually didn't know that. It just means the world. I think I represent a lot of different things, but representation matters. Opportunities matter. And when we're given an opportunity, we can flourish. I was given an opportunity by an AD that believed in the young coach that had only been coaching 5 years. And this is only my 5th year as a head coach. I was a 5-year assistant, a 13-year pro, and now this is my 5th year as a head coach. But someone believed in me and saw something in me that maybe I didn't even see in myself at the time. So we're not just recruiters.
Our final question tonight will come from Christina. Christina, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. You know, from some Girls Talk Sports TV.
I wanted to get her name out there. Christina Williams, Girls Talk Sports TV. And phenomenal. Loved that she got a chance to ask a coach a comment for Coach Barnes Kappa from Arizona. And I love that she had good content too. You could tell it was a great question because the coach was like, wow, I didn't know that. Anytime you give the person that you're interviewing or asking a question of information that they didn't have themselves about themselves, you're doing something. And Christina Williams did a phenomenal job there. And Coach Barnes did a phenomenal job as well, getting the Arizona Wildcats into the championship game. And there they came up just a little bit short. Ari McDonald had a shot, had a chance to win it for them, and they ended up losing it. Final score 54-53. Stanford beat Arizona in the championship game. Stanford's first national championship since 1992. Legendary coach Tara Vandermeer got another chip, but first one since 1992. Great stuff. Here's the statement that I wanted to make. I feel like the NCAA March Madness tournament on the women's side was absolutely phenomenal in spite of Mark Emmert and the NCAA. It almost feels like the NCAA, under the direction of Mark Emmert, did everything they could to minimize the women's game, the women's tournament, but these ladies still shined on a level that was unmatched. When you look back at the games throughout the tournament on the ladies' side, it was phenomenal. That Baylor-Michigan game on national TV did not disappoint. Baylor-UConn did not disappoint. Other games throughout the tournament just did not disappoint. UT coming back on Maryland the way they did not disappoint. And these ladies had little to no support from the very organization that they represented, the NCAA. All Mark Emmert did was make statements. Yeah, he might have made a phone call or two to get a different menu in the CAF. Made a couple of phone calls to get a few more weight machines in a conference room. But why did those things get left undone in the first place? Why was there not equal billing on the March Madness website for the women as it was for the men? Why is everything March Madness related literally referred to the men and not the lady? Mark Emmert and the NCAA did a horrible job, a shameful job, a job that literally should require several people, including Mark Emmert, to lose their jobs. And it's not cancel culture. If you don't do your job well, if you are not accountable in America, you get fired. And just because people have hurt feelings and feel like they shouldn't be questioned about anything, it's not cancel culture. It's do your job. It's called accountability. Look it up. Ladies, great job. Congratulations on a phenomenal season. I can't wait to see these ladies come back or go to the next level. Great job, ladies. All right, when I come back, we'll talk more about tonight's game and, of course, about the Rockets and the NBA. We'll do that next on the lunch break.
Tune in listen to Table Talk with your boy, TD Blackshear, every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. on the legendary KYOK, 1140 a.m. and 92.3 FM. See you there.
In need of tires? Check out OMG Tire Services and more. New and used tires, all the name brands you desire, located at 3126 Tidwell between 59 North and Jensen. Give them a call at 832-767-3211. Top-notch service from beginning to end. When you're done, get your car hand washed inside and out at OMG Tire Services and more, located at 3126 Tidwell between 59 North and Jensen. Call 832-767-3211. That's 832-767-3211, conveniently located on the north side.
Here's an important COVID-19 school system update for your local area. If you're concerned about your child's education, please pay close attention to this message. The current school systems were not set up for at-home learning. If you're worried that your child may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, may be losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades, help is available to you. Call Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring and help your child with any subject at every grade level, even for test prep. They're experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field and confident they can help you and your child get better grades today. Call now for your free consultation. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. That's 800-580-7680.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Two radio stations in one.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. You've got to remember to do your testing, and you always need to be sticking your fingers. The new way to live your life with diabetes is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body, and it continuously monitors your glucose levels, helping you spend more time in range and freeing you from painful finger pricks. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call U.S. Medical Supply today for a free benefits check. We offer free shipping, 90-day supplies, and we bill Medicare or your insurance directly. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-633-1378. 800-633-1378. 800-633-1378. That's 800-633-1378.
Let's be honest, wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair, the world's lightest wheelchair, is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-262-4690. 800-262-4690. 800-262-4690. That's 800-262-4690.
Hi, I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 AM, and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
Hey, you want some sports with your lunch? Well, tune into the legendary KYOK at the lunch break. And I'm Raven Rogers.
Thank you very much there, Raven Rogers, as she's getting ready for the 2021 Sochi Olympics, rescheduled from last summer. Glad to have a drop from her and others. Looking forward to Keisha Kelley dropping by the show in about 30 minutes. Going to have a lot to talk about with her. But this game tonight, Gonzaga and Baylor. Gonzaga and Baylor. Let me say Zaga because, obviously I put the accent on the wrong place. Gonzaga and Baylor. It's going to be a good game. Nick Wright, sports broadcast journalist, said that there's nothing historic or legendary about Gonzaga, that they're very beatable. I agree with the very beatable part, but aren't they 32-0 in the championship game of the NCAA March Madness National Championship? I mean, the whole thing, they're in that game, 32-0. There's not a lot of teams that have done that. Not a lot of teams can say they've done that. It's not about how pretty they've done it. It's not about them doing it by 20 points per game. And oh yeah, by the way, before the Final Four, they were winning them by 18 plus. But to say that there's nothing all-time about them, it's a take. It's not a good one. Because if they win it, whether Nick Wright likes it or not, they do something that hadn't been done since 1976. Go undefeated, wire to wire, and win the championship. And that was IU, coached by Bobby Knight. When you haven't done anything since Bobby Knight in 1976, yeah, bro, that's all time. That's one of the greatest. That's epic. That's memorable. Let's write that one down. I'm going to phone line. Hello, you live on the lunch break. Who this?
Hey, Dre, how you feel, baby?
Man with my hands.
Hey, man, I'm going to get to it real quick because I know you're expecting a important call.
Oh, no, she's not coming till top of the hour. You got time. Go ahead, greatest.
Okay, look at it, man. Okay, I want to congratulate the Cougars. They had a great season. Cougars really didn't play bad Saturday. They just went up against a better team.
Yeah,
right? I mean,
and greatest, I'm glad you said it like that. You can play well and another team play better. It doesn't have to be that you played bad. Somebody could have just played out of their mind, and Baylor played a doggone good game.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to just say, well, hey, we'll go out here and do our best, but we just going up against an unbeatable opponent. I'm really looking forward to that game tonight, man. But before I get to that real quick, Clark Kellogg made the best quote of the weekend. Do you remember what he said?
No, I don't remember. What did he say?
He said UCLA didn't lose. They just ran out of time.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that was a game there, bro.
Yeah, it was.
That was a game. I'm not taking nothing away from Gonzaga. They got a great team. And like you said, they 32-0. But say, man, I can't see them beating them brothers, man. Them brothers can play up at Baylor. And it kind of reminded, I was in high school when Bird went up against Magic. And ain't no need us lying. As great as Larry Bird was, we were pulling for Magic and Kelso. So I'm pulling for Baylor to beat Gonzaga. I ain't gonna go in all why and stuff, but I'm pulling for them brothers to win that game. Who you think gonna pull that off, man?
You know what? I really feel like Gonzaga is gonna find a way, but I won't be surprised or disappointed if Baylor wins. This is one of those ones I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy the show. I'm leaning towards Gonzaga, but if Baylor wins, guess what? I'm gonna come in here shouting for Baylor.
Okay, right on. And then as far as the women's game last night, the Arizona Stanford game, that was a great game, man. But I was kind of disappointed in that last play because that young lady, I know she was working with just about 6 seconds, man, but she had about 2 or 3 other young ladies wide open right up under the basket, man. All she had to do was look up, and then she just took a desperation shot And I could tell by the reaction of them two young ladies that was right there by the basket, wide open. You know, I don't know, man, but she young, man. She'll learn from the mistake. But them women playing some great basketball too.
Yeah,
it goes back to women need to get the same stuff as the men.
Bro, I'm glad to hear you say that, because there's a lot of brothers that ain't talking like that out there. When I listen to what Draymond Green had to say twice, doesn't sound like he understands that. You know, I'll put it this way. I'm not going to talk bad about him because he's a brother. I'm going to try and respect him. You know, black men are entitled to their own opinions, whether I agree with them or not. But he is not an ally. He is an opinionated observer. He's not an ally to growing the women's game. He's an opinionated observer. It's kind of like the people who tell you, hey, man, I'm here to help. Whatever you need me to do, I'm there. You call on them, and all they want to do is supervise. They don't want to lift nothing. They don't want to clean nothing. They don't want to. They just want to give you their opinion. And I'm sorry, right now we don't need supervisors and opinionated observers. You know, before he died, Kobe Bryant was putting his time, his treasure, and his talent into growing the women's game. Kyrie Irving has put his money where his mouth is to help grow the women's game. And there are others. So, you know, whatever, Draymond, I'm not saying it in a negative way, but right now, being an opinionated observer is not what this game needs. They don't need a supervisor. They need some help. They need allies who are going to do what needs to be done to get these women the same that they deserve that the men are getting.
I'm going to end on this, Dre, and I'll hang up and let you comment if you don't mind. Okay, I think about Draymond Green. I think about Westbrook. You know, I like both of them brothers, man, because I'm not going to talk down on another soul. You know, understand what I'm saying? But you know, I seen Stephen A. Smith made some comments about Westbrook in his game, and to me, he wasn't disrespectful with his comments at all. And Westbrook and his wife, you know, just getting on social media making negative comments about Stephen A. Smith. My thing is, man, when I think about people like Jackie Robinson, Hank Aaron, Frank Robinson, Bill Russell, Oscar Robertson, the things that these brothers had to go through, man, the racial slurs they had to endure, couldn't go to certain hotels and stuff like that. And these guys nowadays, man, you can't say nothing about these guys without these guys getting a chip on their shoulder, man. Can you kind of talk about that, and I'll hang up and let you leave? But in closing, I make no bones about listening to Andre Jones. Rumble, young man, rumble. Go, Baylor.
He's the greatest of all time. He's the greatest of all time. That's why he's caller of the year 2018 on this show. Appreciate you, greatest. Valid comment, man. Different times, different people, different situations. Obviously, you didn't have social media back in the days of Magic, Bird, Jabbar, you know, Elijah Wan, Shaq. You didn't have all of the social media back then. So typically, you knew who was talking about you. Like, you knew the beat writer, you knew the national publication person that was saying something negative about you. You knew if there was a hit piece coming out about you. And, you know, you could say what you wanted to say to that person. I'm not saying go Bobby Bonilla. You know, Bobby like literally threatened a beat writer's life, right? You know, before our very eyes. But you knew who the negativity was coming from. And I'm not saying that Russell Westbrook and his wife don't know Stephen A. Smith. What I'm saying is, when you've got anybody and everybody from anywhere and everywhere having something to say, and then on top of that, you've got the Stephen A. Smiths, you've got the Nick Wrights, you've got the Dan Orlowskis, you know, just saying stuff. You know, hey, these guys are human. And truth be told, Jordan and Doc and Bird, they were human too. They weren't superhuman. Look how Doc and Bird went after each other. Doc wasn't wiping Bird's face off from mustard. He was trying to punch him in the mouth. When Kevin McHale and then we're trying to keep Jordan out of the lane, they weren't trying to, hey, buddy, we're going to have coffee later. They were trying to, disrupt him physically. They were human. They took stuff personally. And they just had a different venue or a different arena to retaliate in. But they retaliated. Some of Jordan's biggest nights was because word got to him that somebody was running their mouth. That's a little sensitive if you ask me. These guys now, they're just more, their sensitivity is more on display because we've got an immeasurable number of ways it can be captured. Everyone's got a phone. Everyone's got 280 characters. Everybody has the ability to blog or do, a podcast or whatever. And thanks to the Skips and the Colin Cowherds and the I can't even think of the guy's name that I can't stand. But thanks to them and their just off the wall commentary, now you got folks feeling like they got to say something that's just, oh, wow, something earth shattering. I'm guilty of it from time to time. The integrity in the journalism and the broadcast journalism nowadays is borderline true, but you just got so much saturation of it. We're getting some guy in Poughkeepsie's opinion about Draymond Green or some guy in, Itabena, Mississippi, talking about, Russell Westbrook. It's just amazing. And these guys, now I'm not talking about Bayless. I'm talking about the brother that has a different way of thinking. The one that's always going after LeBron. I purposely forgot his name. I don't ever want to say his name again. But it's not Bayless. I know Skip. Skip. Take a break. I'm going to come back. And I got to get on the Dan Orlowski, Kirk Herbstreit thing real quick. It's Media Monday, so I'm all over the place. There's a lot happening this weekend. We'll be right back right after this on lunch break.
You watch television? Of course you do. Then have you tried Dish TV from All American Dish yet? No? Well, now is a great time because we are giving everyone that calls today a 2-year locked-in price. Your rate will not change for 2 years. The clock is ticking. Call now, get Dish, and get your price locked in for 2 years and save yourself some money. Dish has your favorite TV programs, even Netflix and Amazon Prime built into the DVR. You can even watch Dish anywhere you have an internet connection. Plus, we've even got awesome discounts for the military and seniors. Oh, and one more thing. Call All American Dish now and we'll even give you a free Google TV voice remote, free installation, and free equipment. Don't wait. Call All American Dish now.
800-296-1302. 800-296-1302. 800-296-1302. That's 800-296-1302.
You don't sit behind a desk every day to earn a living. You're out and about making it happen. And sometimes you get a little bit behind on your paperwork, like bookkeeping and paying your taxes. It's easy to get behind on paying your taxes. It happens to the best of us. And you know what happens next. The big bad IRS comes knocking on your door. And when that happens, you need to call the good old boys at the Tax Doctor. Let them do what they do best. Deal and negotiate with the IRS so you pay the lowest you can in back taxes that the law allows. We are a 100% U.S.-based company, and we've saved our clients millions over the years in back taxes. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call my friends right now at the Tax Doctor and learn more.
800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359.
You're listening to
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
Hey, this is Raven Rogers from the University of Oregon 800 meters, NCAA, three-time NCAA champ, art major, Spanish fluent, Houston native right here. And you're listening to The Lunch Break with KYOK.
Yeah, man, I need to get one of those Rosetta Stones, or what's the new one? There's a new language learning app out there that you can get fluent in different languages. I got to catch up with Raven Rogers. She's fluent in Spanish. I'm not. I grew up in the Midwest. I took 8 years of French. Parlez-vous français? Je m'appelle Andre or AJ. Comment s'appelle? That's what I got. 8 years of that, I get down to Texas, it does me no good. If I had moved over to Louisiana, I would have had a shot. I'd have had to tweak my French from Parisian to Creole. So yeah, I need whatever the new app is for language learning so I can get up to speed on some Spanish. I want to be down. I want to know it fluently. So anyway, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. Willie Gibson and Lester. Jason Whitlock is his name. And I guess I got to stick to my same rule of not tearing another black man down, even if that black man would tear me down at a hot beat. I mean, you know, when you got guys out there like Whitlock, Marcellus Wiley, when you got guys out there that are just saying the craziest stuff that comes to the top of their head without any regard or repercussion, it does, man. It makes folks just want to do something. I said I wouldn't. I mentioned Kevin Durant. I said I wasn't going to say a whole lot because it's a fine line. But the Kevin Durant, Michael Rappaport issue, if you don't know about it, Michael Rappaport made a comment about Kevin Durant in the media, social media, and Durant replied back aggressively with some language that was very colorful and inappropriate. And Rappaport, who started this verbal social media battle, then took offense. And I don't condone what Kevin said. You know, homophobic and racial slurs are inappropriate. What I wonder about is how you can start a fight with someone and then be the victim in the same fight that you started. You know, take the homophobic, racial slurs, anything anti-Semitic, take those out. You started a fight with me. It wasn't a sanctioned fight. We're not fighting on national TV. We're not sanctioned by some governing body. Why are there rules on how I have to deal with you for coming for me? I have a sister that does not fight by the rules when it comes to me. I ain't talking about nobody else now. When it came to me, everything was okay until she started crying. Once a one drop of tear came out of the corner of her eye, fight over, retreat, run, get out, save yourself. Because now we're not fighting by the rule. Throw a hammer, push you out of a window, you know, beat you to a pulp, whatever she had to do, you pushed her to that point, and anything that happened after the tear, she wasn't responsible for. It just went, I did it. It went down. Yes, ma'am, I did that, mama. I sure did. How does Rappaport get to be the victim in a fight that he started? So is it because Kevin said the wrong things? in case you haven't figured out, I'm not a Rappaport fan. I didn't care for him as an actor. I definitely don't care for him as the hype man for. I don't care for him as the as the hype man for the big three. Some people love it, so it doesn't matter. It's somebody else's business. So there you go. But I'll say this. Again, take the homophobic slurs and any racial or anti-Semitic phrases out of it. Why does Kevin Durant have to play by somebody else's rules in a fight that he didn't start? It's kind of like the people that scream First Amendment, First Amendment, First Amendment until you say something that they don't like, and then it's cancel culture, or you're something other than a person exercising your First Amendment rights. The governor is boycotting the Rangers today because he doesn't like that Major League Baseball is boycotting Atlanta and thereby have withdrawn the Major League Baseball's All-Star game out of Atlanta. So the governor is boycotting the Rangers. Make it make sense. Major League Baseball has the right to put their product wherever they want to put it. They chose to move it out of Atlanta because of what they believe, right, wrong, or indifferent, because of what they believe. And they've been called socialists. They've been called radical left. They've been called everything under the sun. And now the governor of Texas is boycotting the Rangers because they're a part of Major League Baseball, who made a decision to move the All-Star game out of Atlanta. At what point do we just say, hey, I don't agree with it, but, they're exercising their First Amendment rights? Which leads me to Kirk Herbstreit and Dan Orlowski. Orlowski was on somebody else's show and kind of did some hearsay in regards to Justin Fields, quarterback out of Ohio State. Justin Fields is, pick somebody's mock draft. He's either going to be the number 1 pick, he's either going to be the number 2 pick, or somewhere in there. He's going to be a first rounder. He's either going to be the first quarterback taken, he's going to be the second quarterback taken, or, God forbid San Francisco decides to go with somebody else, he'll be the third or the fourth quarterback taken. And Dan Orlowski, who has played quarterback, talking on somebody else's show, pulled out the hearsay when he said that Justin Fields' stock is sliding, and the reason why his stock is sliding, he said, and I quote, 1, I have heard that he is a last guy in, first guy out type of quarterback, like not the maniacal work ethic. I've even heard it compared to Justin Herbert, where it was like, dude, when Justin Herbert showed up, he was like a sociopath when it came to working and getting ready for the draft. Or even at school, like, give me more, I want to work nonstop. And I've heard that there are issues with Justin Fields' work ethic. The second thing is, where is his desire to be a great quarterback? I think that there's a desire to be a big-time athlete from what is expressed to me, but where is his desire to be a great quarterback? And to be great, you got to be willing to find the things that you are not good at and just freaking grind on them, end quote. Now, he doesn't know if any of that is true. He just repeated what he heard on national whatever, because whatever the podcast is with Pat McAfee, I'm sure it's not just local in one area. And there are people out there that listen to that stuff, that make decisions off that stuff, who are now going to be like, so that's the issue. Whether it's true or not. And oh yeah, by the way, it would not be the first time that a quarterback was literally decimated by a scouting report or commentary or hearsay from unnamed sources that just wasn't true. Kirk Herbstreit, who played at Ohio State, has connections with Ohio State, follows Ohio State. Like me, I follow Ohio State every year, every game, no matter who's the quarterback, who's the coach, who's the star player, I'm on it. I follow the guys that they're recruiting. I was on Zeke Elliott before he set foot on campus. And Kirk Herbstreit said, and I quote, absolutely ridiculous in his tweet to the video about what Dan Orlovsky said. And he said, even if you aren't saying it, to pass that along from people in the know is reckless and absurd, embarrassing. And he is absolutely right. Orlovsky wants to be a broadcast journalist now. Well, similar to what he said about Justin Fields can be said about him. You don't just repeat what you heard in this business as if it's fact. Some people do, and that's their thing. But if you want to be considered one of the best, you got to put in the work and check stuff out before you report it as fact. And literally, that's why I have lost respect for people in this business that used to be like family to me. Because you can't go on certain shows and be, factual and put in your work and do all that you do, and then come in here and just throw out nonsense to get a rise to say, oh, it's on the lunch break. Did you hear what I said on the lunch break? No, sir. No, ma'am. Put in the work. Do your job. Do good reporting. Orlovsky didn't do that. And who suffers? Not Dan. Oh, he's well respected in the business. He'll be on somebody else's set. Person that suffers is Justin Fields, because it costs him millions of dollars to slide from 1 to 2. It costs him millions of dollars to slide from 2 to 3. It costs him millions of dollars to slide further into the double digits. And heaven forbid he slide out of the first round. I don't see that happening. But Dan Orlovsky and these unnamed sources, I wish there was some kind of way that they could be held accountable. I really, really do. So that's it. That's the rub. That's broadcast journalism. All right, I got to get ready to go. We'll get the first hour on the book, second hour underway right here on the legendary KYOK. Special guest should be joining us in a minute.
1140 AM, KYOK Conroe, and 92.3 FM, K222CX Houston.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the hosts, guests, and callers who are for all show
Look at
content.
that.
Reflect
Did
the
that for you.
opinions of KYOK Radio, staff, or management.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break, hour number 2 here on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM, streaming live on KYOKradio.org. I've got none other than Miss Black College Experience herself. It's Keisha Kelley, y'all. Hey, Keisha, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. You see, I'm rocking the Southern Jags today.
I like that. Go Jags!
Yeah.
You're rocking a winner.
You know, they got a little win this weekend over.
You got a win.
She said ain't no little win. Ain't no little win. So, Keisha, first of all, thanks for coming back to the show. I'm so glad to have you. You know, we just finished Women's History Month, and you worked like crazy, like you always do. An amazing interview with a young lady from ESPN. Tell us about all that you were able to accomplish and people that you spotlighted during Women's History Month.
So first, I'll say thank you for having me once again. I always appreciate coming on to the lunch break. For Women's History Month, you know, we came off of Black History Month. So after coming off of Black History Month, it was only right that we highlight women in history. And being a woman, it's only right to talk about what other women are doing. And I made a post one day that you don't always have to be someone in the spotlight. You don't always have to be someone that's at the top of your career. You can just be a parent to be highlighted. And as a woman in history, you could be someone that's in the front line, someone that's, you know, that's helping your children, someone that's helping in the community. And a lot of times women are not highlighted. Sometimes those are the people that go unnoticed. So I went and I reached deep. I looked for some people, of course, that were Black college sports. I still stayed in the room of HBCUs, but I did. The first person that I highlighted was a young lady named Cameron Young. She actually was a 4-year starter at Virginia Union. So she played volleyball, and she actually was Miss Virginia Union.
Oh, wow.
And then, yeah, I know. That's what I was like, wow, crazy thing. The second person I highlighted was Tenitra Baptiste, which is a sports anchor here in Atlanta. She covers the Hawks, the Braves, and the Falcons. And then she also has a podcast called Fill in the Blanks. She graduated from Xavier University.
All right.
The third person was Chelsea Muir. She was a 4-year starter at Livingstone, and she was also Miss Livingstone. So I don't know how I got that. I don't know how that happened, but it did. And I was like, I got 2 queens that were athletes.
That's what's up.
She also does she's a servant leader. So they do this like coaches Bible study that's really awesome. Like like on Tuesdays, like they're fired up. It's really good. On Twitter, it's really good. Really, really good.
I love that. I love that. Kelley, Black College Experience, joining us here on the lunch break. And I mean, dropping it out, man. That's great stuff. I love seeing these young ladies do this amazing work. Like you said, it's historic. I mean, it's history in the making.
And so then, of course, we finished it out with Tiffany Green from ESPN, which, of course, graduated from Florida A&M. That's how we ended off the month. For people like, oh my, how did you manage to get Tiffany? I must say, Tiffany and I talk all the time. So it wasn't like, oh my goodness. So Tiffany and I talk all the time. And it's one of those, I can always text Tiffany, call Tiffany, and Tiffany's going to respond. Tiffany's going to have my back on something. If Tiffany has a question about Southern, I can give her the feedback. If I have a question on something, Tiffany can steer me in the right way. Tiffany tells me, you know, exactly what it is that I need to hear, whatever it is that I'm looking for. So that's how we ended off our Women History Month with Tiffany Green from ESPN.
Absolutely. I listened to that interview, and it was an amazing interview. And I love how you do your thing. I mean, like you said, it's not just X's and O's and wins and losses. Right. We learn personal stuff. We learn, you know, challenging stuff. We learned a lot about her just from the time spent with you. And that's just amazing work.
Listen, I didn't know she was a car salesperson. I didn't know she was a car saleswoman. I didn't know that. I was like, really? I think nobody on the line knew that she did the car. None of us knew that. I was like, oh, really? Yeah, I didn't know that.
That's literally not part of the career path to sports broadcast journalism. But when you think about it, there's not much more competitive than car salespeople.
That's true. That's true. Which is probably why we can all fall in line and be like, oh, okay, I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Keisha Kelley joining us here on the show. And then you have been getting it in as far as spring HBCU football. What's that experience been like, spring versus what we normally see in the fall?
It's been a really good experience. All the exposure is on historically Black colleges. All eyes are on us, and it only makes it better the fact that we get to actually come into ESPN 3, 2, whatever ESPNs we're on. We get to have all eyes on us, on a national level on television. So it's like the focus, despite all the things that are going on, we're still able to, get those kids out there and get them highlighted on ESPN. And the atmosphere is, is still great. My first initial thing that I did was actually Senior Bowl. So Senior Bowl was a little different. But going out to actually, cover Alabama State and Southern was a great game over in Montgomery, because you still had the band. So you still got one band, you still have fans. And I think everybody was just excited to see some HBCU football. So we still got one band. We still got a chance to see that a really competitive game that basically came down to one play. And so it was a really great game. And then, we have, it's just so much competition. Just I say around the conference, University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. I mean, they're playing lights out. Props to Doc Gamble. He's put together a really great football program. So it's some great things that's going on around the SWAC. And I got a chance to get out and travel over to Jackson, Mississippi this past weekend. And it's called the Vet. So we're in Veteran Memorial Stadium in the Vet, and they said it was 22,000 people. I think it was more, but I did. We had to do a COVID test on site. I was like, wait, I got to do a test. It's like, it's not that bad, but I'm like, listen, because so you got to get tested on site, wait on the results, everything. So I tell people, they're like, I don't understand. I was like, listen, it's really, really, really strict protocol. We're not just out there covering. It's really strict protocol, and they have to make sure they keep those student athletes and everybody safe. But we did. We got a chance to get out there and cover that. The atmosphere was really great. I think I ate too much the weekend. We ate and done so much stuff. But the best part about it was that Coach Odoms brought back that W. Brought a W back to Mumford. So, it was a great weekend. It was a great weekend in Jackson, Mississippi.
I followed your journey covering your travel there and, the game. And, again, there are some that thought that Deion Sanders, coach of Jackson State, was going to come through and just run through the SWAC. And it has been anything but that. And I like how you talked about Coach Mumford. And, about, hey, this man's been doing this for a while. It's like he reestablished himself as one of the great coaches and the teams to beat in the SWAC.
Correct. And the thing is after the game on Saturday, Coach Odoms did a presser. And if you get a chance, if you haven't saw it, I'll send you the clip. But WBRZ actually got the clip of him. And, for fans and for alumni, they want to see you keep gunning and keep gunning. And if you got a chance to watch that, you notice that Southern had tightened up that line and they were getting ready to score one more time. But they took a knee at the 2-yard line. And Coach Odoms talked about that in entirety. He talked about it in depth as to why he did that. And so a lot of people didn't understand, but like he said, I've been on that side before, and I understand what it's like to be that losing team. We had done enough at this point. You take the W and you work on what he was like, they still have a great football team. They still, just things that they're working on. He was like, but there's no point in beating them down. Like just beating them beyond. And we talked about it. I was like, you don't know if it would have been different if the shoe was on the other foot. But, I have nothing but respect for Coach Odoms in doing that. And like you said, as a Black man, you've been scoring your whole life. So continuing to do that, that's somebody else's children, it's no point. And after listening to Deion's doing his presser, he gave props to Southern as well. He talked about Southern today and everything they executed and done as well. So, I think it's both sides, but it was just major respect on both sides.
I love that, because in some of the major programs on the PWI side, they got to have those style points. And they'll be 70-3 or 69-7 or whatever. And not necessary. It's just not necessary. Not saying you pull the dogs out, but you can still be respectful and win a game. Keisha, stay right there. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Keisha Kelley, Black College Experience, joining us here on Media Monday on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
Attention business owners, listen carefully to this important message. Are you tired of struggling with monthly bookkeeping or always being behind? Maybe you're fed up with paying your CPA ridiculously high hourly rates for subpar services. At Finance Pal, we know your pain. We're small business owners who understand your tax and accounting needs. At Finance Pal, we take over your books and design a program custom tailored to fit your needs. Whether it's bookkeeping, payroll, bill pay, inventory tracking, or taxes, we have you covered. We handle some or all of these services for one flat, affordable, low monthly fee. Stop worrying about your books and drowning in paperwork. Let us worry while you focus on growing your business. This setup is easy, and we give you the tools and technology to make your monthly finances streamlined and organized. Call now for a free business assessment.
800-213-9527. 800-213-9527. 800-213-9527. That's 800-213-9527. Here's an important COVID-19 school system update for your local area. If you're concerned about your child's education, please pay close attention to this message. The current school systems were not set up for at-home learning. If you're worried that your child may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, maybe losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades, help is available to you. Call Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring and help your child with any subject at every grade level, even for test prep. They're experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field and confident they can help you and your child get better grades today. Call now for your free consultation. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. That's 800-580-7680.
The legendary KYOK, 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
Hey guys, this is your girl Brandy Nelson, and you are listening to The Lunch Break on KYOK.
Song says, friends, how many of us have them? Ones we can depend on. Before we go any further, let's be friends. I got one of mine on the show with us today. It's Keisha Kelley, Black College Experience. If you want her website, it's right there scrolling under the screen. Be sure to check her out because I'm telling you, it is superior content and information. So, Keisha, we're back on the show, and I was just looking at the standings in the SWAC. Jackson State still on top in the East, but Pine Bluff 3-0, and then you got Prairie View 2-0, and then Southern 2-1, all right there in the West. They're playing some good football right now.
Well, with Prairie View, they haven't played because of COVID. So Prairie View, I really can't. Now, as far as Pine Bluff was playing Alabama State. That game was called because of weather. We don't know what would have happened. So it's just like so many what ifs. But Pine Bluff, I can actually say, yeah, and I do. I joke with the coaches all the time, and I have nothing but respect for Coach Gamble. But I told Prairie View, I said, I don't know about y'all. Now listen, y'all ain't played a full schedule. Alabama A&M is praying to they can get a game in this weekend. So it has. It's just been a lot. It's been a lot going on with COVID protocols. Just a lot of stuff going on with COVID and guys in quarantine and what's going to happen with Bayou Classic. We're hoping that pulls out. It's just a lot going on. It's just a lot going on. Yeah, we saw also Delaware State got a win over Howard. Delaware State 2-1 right now. Let's see, Tennessee State fell to Tennessee Tech 24-10. That one was a little surprising for me. South Carolina State got a win over Alabama State. And then, of course, Pine Bluff and Mississippi Valley State 24-17. Some good games. And then, of course, Southern got that 20-point victory over Jackson State. Now, Coach Sanders talked about the run game for Southern and trying to handle those running backs. What did you see while you were out there? Exactly what he saw. Trying to contain them. It was. He just couldn't stop. You couldn't stop the run. The run just could not be contained at that point in time. And so I think it was a point where he might have went for it on 4 and 14. It was something very random.
Right.
And we're thinking, why did you do that? That's just gonna further up the score. And it happened, but it's just like at this point, that's just a that's an ego thing there. I don't know. That was just crazy. But like I said, he admitted, he was like, I take full responsibility. He's like, it's like we didn't capitalize off of anything from the beginning to the end. So, block punts and looking at the stats, it was something, but no, they could not be contained. They absolutely could not be contained. The running game was just crazy.
And not trying to defend him, but I can a little bit understand that when running the ball the way that Southern did eats up clock, it keeps your offense off the field. It just it like literally changes the entire complexion of the game. So when you get the ball, even on 14, your goal is to try and hang on to that ball so you can put points on the board. And it was a tough call, but I get it. Sometimes you got to try to do something to change that momentum. And Southern had the momentum. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, you talked about ESPN. I mean, they're literally upgrading where they're putting some of the HBCU games. They're moving them off ESPN 3 and plus to ESPN 2 and ESPNU and ESPN. What are your thoughts about that?
So I do, because this is one of the things that people, they get the misconception and they say, oh, this is the Dion effect. So let me put this out here. This is the Dr. Charles McClellan effect. Okay. This is the commissioner's work. Okay. The commissioner the commissioner did this. This is something that the commissioner has talked about over and over again. And so he was able to flex those games because it was in the contract. So people that don't follow, keep up with, and don't know the other side, the business parts of these things and these contracts, this was all Dr. McClellan's work, and we're seeing the fruits of his labor. And like I always say, he'll get it done. Commissioner McClellan is one of my other favorite people because he always gets it done. But being able to flex that, and I tell people all the time, listen, it does not matter. I'm a Southern University Jaguar to the soul, but at the end of the day, I want nothing more than for all of our programs to be successful. So turn on the TV, because viewership matters. Viewership matters. So, we can't be complaining about not being on TV. And then when we're on TV, oh, I'm not going to watch it because it's Jackson State, or I'm not going to watch it because it's not my school. You can't do that, because then they're going to snatch us all off and you're not going to see nobody on TV. Right. So it's like, you gotta watch it no matter what. And I don't care who is on. I'm literally flipping from channel. Like, I got one computer up, one TV on, another TV on, because I'm trying to see what's going on across the board in each of those sports. And it is just to be moved up to that ESPN slot. And then they'll be on ESPN again this weekend. Alabama A&M, Jackson State. So, it's a good thing that we're able to get, this is what we've been asking for. We've been asking for the exposure. Now there's no more excuses as to, oh, we can't be seen on TV, because we're seeing this every week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Keisha Kelley, Black College Experience, joining us here on the show. And when you view it, give it more than 15 minutes. Give it more than 15 minutes, because that 15-minute interval is where they measure. So don't give it 3 minutes and then get off. Give it 15 minutes plus, and then when if they register it right, it'll be a plus. And then, like you just said, hit the websites. Go to the different websites and go directly to that link for that game, because they'll be able to track that directly to the HBCU support.
Correct.
Yeah. Keisha, now here's the thing. You talked about the possibility of the Bayou Classic. Mm-hmm. What possibly could happen with the Celebration Bowl? Is that still, as of right now, something that they're planning to do?
So Celebration Bowl right now, haven't heard anything as far as cancellations or anything. Of course, with the new voting law and everything that's going on in Georgia, there's a lot of petitions going around with people asking about moving stuff. And as we all seen over the weekend with the MLB, things like this happens. And, it's a lot of people that's upset about it. And I'll tell you, sometimes when I take classes and take courses, things start to kick in. And so after I took this activism course with Chris Webber, it starts to kick in. And I said, it made a lot of sense to me. Sometimes you got to hit people where the money is. Sometimes you got to hit them in the pocket. You got to hit them in the pocket. And you got to understand, sometimes it's just like, I want to say it might have been, I don't know if it was Spencer Haywood, I can't remember. but it's not going to always be comfortable.
Right.
Activism is not comfortable, or it might have been Jamel Hill. It's not comfortable. Some of these things are going to make you uncomfortable, and we don't like to be inconvenienced. So if they were to move it, I would be bothered because it means I got to travel, but I understand it. I understand why things happen, but as of now, they haven't said anything about canceling it as far as moving that. Because you remember, MEAC Challenge is also here too. Mm-hmm. So, they haven't said anything about cancellation as far as anything is towards the fall. Haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, I'm glad you shared all the above because it's HBCUs and graduates of and those who attended have been on the forefront of social justice and the movement from the beginning of time. The existence of HBCUs was in itself a listen, we don't educate ours. You won't let us in there, we'll find a way. So
before you go into that, I don't know if you got a chance to see the actual documentary 20 Pearls with the AKAs.
I didn't see that, no.
Okay. If anybody on here if you saw it, I'm telling you, if you have not seen it, please go watch it. When I say it breaks it down, and I'm saying I've never seen something so detailed and organized as to breaking down how the AKAs went about their business, from organizing that sorority to everything they did as far as getting into like the White House is so organized, it's so detailed, and I'm just like, oh wow, it really is. And these are Black women, so of course it stuck out because it's women, and I'm talking about young women, 19, 20, 21 years old, things they're thinking about at that age that we wouldn't even consider.
Yeah. I like that you brought that out, and you're gonna make me go watch it now. I gotta take another quick break. When I come back, let's talk about women and what just happened with the NCAA and other sports. I even want to bring up Draymond Green a little bit. So we'll do that when we come back with Kelley, Black College Experience, right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
Talk with your boy TD Blackshear every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. on the legendary KYOK 1140 a.m. and 92.3 FM. See you there.
In need of tires? Check out OMG Tire Services and more. New and used tires, all the name brands you desire. Located at 3126 Tidwell between 59 North and Jensen. Give them a call at 832-767-3211. Top-notch service from beginning to end. When you're done, get your car hand-washed inside and out at OMG Tire Services and more. Located at 3126 Tidwell between 59 North and Jensen. Call 832-767-3211. That's 832-767-3211. Conveniently located on the north side.
Legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Radio stations in one.
I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 AM, and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
Hey guys, this is your girl Brandy Nelson, and you are listening to The Lunch Break on KYOK.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK, all-new 92.3 FM, streaming live on KYOKradio.org. And we got Keisha Kelley, Black College Experience, joining us here on the show. And I'm playing this for all the ladies. Ladies, I really want y'all to have a chance to clear your throat. I made a post, Keisha, that the women's college basketball tournament this year was absolutely phenomenal in spite of the NCAA, in spite of Mark Emmert. It's almost like they did everything they could to minimize the women and celebrate the men. And I'm sorry, it's all college basketball. So I don't understand the blatant disparity between the men and the women. Call me naive, but the blatant disparity, that whole food thing, workout room thing, and all of that, and all Emmert did was, I guess, make a couple phone calls and then release a couple of statements. No, bro, that's an unforced error. You didn't have to get it wrong in the first place.
I do, and I tell people this all the time. I do. I live by. I do. I have a hashtag that I put on a T-shirt, and it's simply one thing: all sports matter. And that goes on both sides, guys and girls. So, you can't, and they say it so many times. I was looking at a scale of what men make in the WNBA, what women make in the WNBA. And I heard a comment, we hear comments, well, no one watches the WNBA and nobody supports this and that in college and nobody's watching collegiate women's basketball or whatever. And I tell people, listen, if they on scholarship, somebody watching them. Okay. No matter what happens, if they on scholarship, you may not watch them, but somebody watching them. Right. And being a woman and going to watch Black college sports, you ain't saw nothing that dominant. If you watched a Jackson State, a Grambling, Alabama State this season, they dominated. I mean, and they can, and of course, okay, we're not the Arizonas and the Houstons and the Mississippis, but if you watch some of these teams, they flat out dominate and they play with so much aggression and so much passion. But I guess because they're not men, they figured that there's no way. And in my opinion, how hard is it to order the same food for the women as it is for the men? How hard is it to order the same swag for the women that you order for the men? All you gotta do is change the dates and change the teams. It's nothing different. I mean, it's nothing. They're playing in the same spaces. It's nothing to change. And so when you continue to do stuff like this is why I often question men when they always say, well, we need women, but you don't push to diversify and include women. Right. If you want to have something that's inclusive and include women, you got to have a woman at the table. You got to include women. You can't just say something for a press conference or for a press release and you continue to not include women in these situations. And so when we call them out, it's all on Twitter, it's all on social media. And then when you have to come make a statement, to me, you're just making that statement because you had to, not because you wanted to.
Yeah. Keisha, Kelley, Black College Experience here on the lunch break. I said before you got on the show, I'm not gonna drag Draymond Green. I'm not gonna do that to brothers. I'm not gonna be a part of tearing another black man or black woman down. And folks that don't understand why I'm not saying for all men and all women, you just don't understand.
Right.
But Draymond, his statement was ill-advised, uninformed, and just not necessary. That's not to tear him down. And to go further, it's almost like he's an opinionated observer. Kobe Bryant put his time, his treasure, his talent to expanding the women's game. Kyrie Irving put money into expanding the women's game. There are people that are doing the work and helping to do the work. They don't need a supervisor. They don't need somebody who's just going to come and give their opinion. They've heard it all. They've tried it all. They're still trying it all. They don't need a overseer to come. Oh, well, have you thought of this? Yeah, they have. Yeah, they have. Right. And that's where I wish the Draymonds and some of the other brothers out there would just, if you can't do nothing better than have an opinion, just leave this one alone. Sit this one out.
Right. And I think that's the thing. And I often tell people, I said, it's nothing worse than an armchair coach. Man. It's nothing worse than an armchair coach. Everybody has an opinion. And in his case, he played basketball, so it's different. But it's people that never played, never picked up a ball, never coached. They don't know the first thing, and they have the most opinions. Well, I think you should. And I'm like, but you're watching from entertainment. These are people that have a skill set that God blessed them with to be able to entertain you. So you don't have the audacity. You can't just tell somebody what they should do, how they should play, how they could do, or what they should change. You can't. All you're supposed to do is sit back here and be entertained. And you can't tell someone how they should perform when if they match you up 101, we know how it's going to turn out. we know how it's going to turn out. And I think a lot of times with athletes, or excuse me, with celebrity athletes or celebrities in general, sometimes we don't think, we just speak. And it's like, when you have those ill-advised comments and you just say stuff and you base it on, this is my opinion, it's not always right. Just because it's your opinion don't mean you have to say it. Does not mean it's always right. Just because it's your opinion does not make it right.
My daddy told me not every truth is yours to tell, and that changed everything for me.
That's true.
When I say that thing hits me now like he just said it. And he said that like 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So
it's true.
But here's the thing, and Keisha, I appreciate the way you said that. But here's the thing. Draymond and those who think like him are literally benefiting from the work that was put in by Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and guys like that who grew the game, and now they are in the shine that somebody else grew. They didn't come with a flashlight. They weren't hammering in light posts and things like that. They are sitting on the efforts and the labors and the sacrifices made by those that came before them. So now to be sitting up in an ivory tower that you didn't build, trying to tell somebody else how to get their own ivory tower is really kind of,
it's contradictory. Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
thank you.
And then it's always people, and I always say this: an empty wagon makes the most noise. Yeah, and it's always people that are benefiting from somebody else that have the most to say. You're benefiting from somebody else. You should be trying to help somebody else instead of talking about somebody. Try to help them, because I mean, let's be honest. You're not a LeBron James, okay? You're not a LeBron James. You're not a Kobe Bryant. You're not a Steph Curry. So you're not in that aspect of where you're trying to belittle somebody. You're not one of those people. And even if you were, it still doesn't make it right. It does not matter who you are. Acknowledge that somebody put you where you needed to be. So it's okay to help someone else get to where they need to be.
Yeah.
It's totally
There's
okay.
a difference between constructive criticism and unnecessary criticism.
Right.
You are one of the people that my passion for Black colleges and universities, HBCUs, was always there. I got HBCUs all through my family. You lit a fire to the fire. You poured more gas on the fire. From seeing you, I see a level of excellence on how it could and should be done. And I'm like, okay, now I got something I can look up to. I'm not getting ready to look at somebody else and say, why are you even trying to cover HBCU? You don't even know what you're doing. I'm like, man, listen, let's put our work together and do this right. We can't have too many people covering it the right way. We can have a lot covering it the wrong way.
Correct. And then that's, it's oftentimes, I tell people, you get sound bites and you get people that know that this is the thing. This is the space. This is where everybody wants to be at this point in time, because HBCU is hot right now. And with Deion Sanders coming in, that just added a little bit more fuel to the fire. Right. And with everything that happened last year, so many people want to come into this space. And then you got all kind of kids that are saying they're going to possibly commit, what if? And so with all of these things that are happening now, you do have people that come in, and I tell people all the time, it's fine. Just make sure you do not mess us up. Don't come in. We don't need any inaccuracies. And we want people to know, we want our story out there, but don't tell the wrong story, because we'd rather for you not to tell the story if you're going to get the story wrong.
I love it. Keisha Kelley doing amazing work over there at Black College Experience. Keisha, when you see the work that was put in by some of these ladies, coaches, players, all of that, man. I love what Dawn Staley is doing over at South Carolina. I love what the head coach over at Arizona is doing. But we got some great sisters coaching at HBCUs as well, and involved in HBCU programs as well. How do we go about spotlighting and finding out some more about what the ladies are doing on the HBCU level?
So I did, and before, because everybody, they talked about the Arizona head coach, and I told him, I said, that's wonderful, but we're not gonna forget her assistant Tamisha, that was a swag baller. She played for Alabama A&M. So Tamisha, she played for Alabama A&M. She was a swag standout. And so when we start, they was like, when we start to acknowledge that, somewhere in there, HBCU is going to ring on back and through. And actually, the Arizona's head coach, her dad played for Southern. So we find a way to ring it back in. But looking at, some of these coaches, Coach Tamika Reed from Jackson State. I mean, we just have some phenomenal coaches out there, some really, really great coaches, and they continue to move these ladies ahead. They continue to move them ahead and do whatever. I can't say Southern because they have a male coach. They have Coach Funches, so I can't say Southern because we got a male coach. But the coaches continue to move these programs ahead every single year, and they do what they have to do for these ladies. Tuskegee was at the top of their game this past year, so it's a lot of ladies just doing their thing, and like I said, they don't always get the recognition, but some of these teams should be nationally ranked. I don't care if you're D1, 2, or 3, you should be nationally ranked because these ladies are playing lights out. And sometimes they play better than the guys are playing, no matter what the sport is. Sometimes we're recognizing the guys, no disrespect to the guys, but the ladies are playing lights out and we're not recognizing their effort, their time, and their talent. And they're playing with their full heart, their full passion. So pre-COVID, if I walk into a gym, I walk into anywhere and I don't see a packed house and I see a team that's literally a 10-0 or something in O or something in 0 in their conference, and I don't see anybody in there supporting them, I have a problem with that because once again, we owe it to these student athletes because they're going in here every single day putting on a show for us. This is male or female. They're putting on a show for us. So what if I'm not a baseball fan? Or so what if I don't like soccer? They putting on a show for us because they're the athletes, they're on scholarship, and they got to perform for somebody. So why not go watch them?
Yeah. Keisha, Kelley, Black college experience, man. I can respect and appreciate that sentiment because, like you said, man, when you got people that have done the work for perfection and they not getting supported, I mean that's like a slap in the face. I get it. We're doing it for each other and we're playing for coach and whatever and our families, but ain't nothing wrong with getting some, student support, alumni support, recognition, you name it. That like you said, that should be a packed house.
Right.
I want to ask you a question more from a standpoint to kind of give people some perspective. You are one of the most passionate people about doing what it is you're doing, but that don't mean it's easy. There probably been things that happened to you that literally made you wonder, is this what I should be doing? Or, what else can I do? Share some of those experiences. Just because you make it look easy don't mean it is.
It is absolutely not easy. It is absolutely not easy. I'll say, and maybe, God, I can't even tell you how many years ago this was. It wasn't that far off. I remember, and it had to be within last 4 or 5, about 5 years, I'd say, or more. I remember maybe 6 years. I remember starting looking at sports when I first moved to Atlanta 10 years ago. And I remember saying, okay, this is what I want to do, but I had no idea how I was going to get started. And I remember in 2011, one of my friends, she said, okay, she had a radio station or somebody she knew. And that's where I started at. I had sports, I had some kind of sports background. I had done some kind of experience in different things, but I never did radio or anything in that nature. And I just remember one day somewhere a couple of years ago, I was like, okay, I flipped. I was like, I don't want to do sports anymore. I don't want to do sports. It's not sports I want to do. This is before I got into the Black college side. I was like, I don't want to do sports anymore. I want to go into fashion, and fashion was my thing. Okay, I can. Okay, I'm gonna start from the bottom. So I start styling people. That was my thing. And most of my clients were guys. I was styling guys. I would meet these people, and they would pay me for it. And then it's almost like God turned on the light.
All right.
It was like He turned on the light and said, "I'm gonna show you exactly what you do." If you ever heard the saying, if you want to see God laugh, show him your blueprint, it's exactly what it was. Because I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. So I was like, okay, I want to do sports. And I don't want to do sports anymore. I want to do fashion. So I was doing it. And so I went through some period, I don't know what I was doing, where I was like, wait, I'm gonna have to get this client. Well, how am I gonna secure this client? And I start in my mind just started going crazy. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to do that. And that night I went to sleep. And the very next day I woke up, my mind went straight back to sports. And it was almost like I never lost a beat. And that's how I knew this was where I was supposed to be. That's how I knew I was supposed to be in the realm of sports. Because I was listening to Tyler Perry last night when he said, God will set it up where people that are supposed to help you, they can help you, but they don't. God will close those doors purposely on you so he can set it up to show you that it was exactly him that did what he did.
Wow.
And in my mind, I was like, wow, God showed me all of these people that could help me, but he put it where I'm going to show you that it was me that did that. So I understood from that point, it's going to be some trials. It's going to be some tests. You're going to battle with some people, but along the way, I'm going to walk with you. And along this way, every single time, I tell people it's some spaces I've been in that men hadn't been able to touch. It's some tables I sat at that guys haven't sat at. It's some people I've talked to that guys haven't talked to. It's some calls I've had that guys haven't been able to sit on. And it's not to make a comparison, but it's just to make a statement as a Black woman in this space. It's so hard because we're often questioned about what we research, what we do, how do we do it, what do we know? Are you knowledgeable? Are you sure? And you get tired of explaining. So at this point, I no longer explain. I no longer try to convince. Either you believe it or you don't. And if you don't, that's your bad, not mine, because I know it's going to be hurdles, but we continue in this same thing. And the thing that I've learned to do, I never get caught up in the fanfare of it all. I keep one thing at the forefront, and that's the student athletes. The student athlete is always the most important thing. When I'm walking out, the student athlete is on my mind. When I'm interviewing, the student athlete is on my mind. When I'm talking to a coach, the student athlete is still on my mind. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the student athlete. It's not about the clicks. It's not about the reads. It's not about the follows. It's not about any of the stuff that we receive. It's still about the student athlete. So I have to keep the vision in front of me. It's always to bring exposure to those student athletes. And that's how I continue to go through this path. When people come to me, it's like, hey, can I intern? I have maybe like 20 people talking about, can I intern? I'm overwhelmed when people tell me that, because that means that we have been making strides. That means we have been making strides when people actually walk up to me and say, hey, my grandma's following you. My grandma told me to follow you. I've had that happen like 5 times in 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh. People stopping me at the game. Hey, Black College Experience. And I don't want to appear aloof, but some people I just don't know. And I'm like, I don't know who's following me, but I appreciate it. Thank you, Keisha, for all you're doing. Parents calling, parents reaching out. So you know that you're doing your job. And at those moments are the proud moments, but you keep going. You keep going and you keep understanding that this is the path that God laid. And so you continue to go on that path. And that's how I knew when I woke up that next day and I didn't think about fashion anymore. I knew sports is where I was supposed to be. And after, I guess, 2016, 2017, I knew exactly when things start to happen and we were starting to see things happen at a slow pace then. It's like, why aren't we talking more about Black college sports? We're doing segments, but we aren't highlighting these guys and these girls that are doing so many things, are doing so many things in these spaces, and we're not talking about it. You know, we had just came off of 2015 was the first year for Celebration Bowl, an inaugural Celebration Bowl. And I'm like, it's a bowl game. I don't care. It's over 30,000 people there. You should be talking about this game. And we don't have people talking about it. So I asked somebody and he said, are you sure you want to go into Black college sports? Are you sure that's what you want to do? And ever since that day, I have never been more sure of anything in my life besides being a Southern Jaguar than that. I knew that I was most definitely sure that Black college sports was the best place to be.
And Keisha, you do it also well. In fact, somebody just commented, Black college experience, awesome job. So I wanted to get that out there because I know that will encourage a lot of people that don't be fooled just because you do it. And I mean, you almost do it effortlessly, but there was some struggle. There was some challenge. There was some time. Absolutely. Yeah. And all those things, you're standing on them now. That's part of the foundation. Absolutely. I do, man. You are one of the people that I respect as high as I could possibly respect. And I mean that sincerely. I want to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll wrap it up right after this. Keisha Kelley, Black College Experience on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK, all new 92.3 FM.
Do you watch television? Of course you do. Then have you tried Dish TV from All American Dish yet? No? Well, now is a great time because we're giving everyone that calls today a 2-year locked-in price. Your rate will not change for 2 years. The clock is ticking. Call now, get Dish, and get your price locked in for 2 years and save yourself some money. Dish has your favorite TV program. Even Netflix and Amazon Prime built into the DVR. You can even watch Dish anywhere you have an internet connection. Plus, we've even got awesome discounts for the military and seniors. Oh, and one more thing. Call All American Dish now and we'll even give you a free Google TV voice remote, free installation, and free equipment. Don't wait. Call All American Dish now.
800-296-1302. 800-296-1302. 800-296-1302. That's 800-296-1302.
You don't sit behind a desk every day to earn a living. You're out and about making it happen. And sometimes you get a little bit behind on your paperwork, like bookkeeping and paying your taxes. It's easy to get behind on paying your taxes. It happens to the best of us. And you know what happens next. The big bad IRS comes knocking on your door. And when that happens, you need to call the good old boys at the Tax Doctor. Let them do what they do best. Deal and negotiate with the IRS so you pay the lowest you can in back taxes that the law allows. We are a 100% U.S.-based company, and we've saved our clients millions over the years in back taxes. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call my friends right now at the Tax Doctor and learn more.
800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359.
This is Jasmine Highsmith, and you're having Exciting Sports with your lunch here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK, all new 92.3 FM and streaming 24/7, KYOKradio.org. Man, I tell you what, Keisha, Kelley, you have blessed some people, especially in that last segment. I've got a text message, and this person says, I'm in tears right now. She is preaching my testimony. Oh, my God. I got chills right now. For real, for real. Then the person says, man, God is some kind of God. He is so faithful. And that was directly related to your testimony. And I'm glad you shared it. I appreciate you sharing it so openly because you never know who you've been designed to bless, even if you never lay eyes on them. And that's what you do on a regular basis, Keisha.
Absolutely.
One of the things I want to ask you about is, people see the work that you do with Black College Experience. They follow you, they see the coverage that you do. But the interesting phenomena is there are parents that literally reach out to you for guidance on how to handle their children. Talk about that and what that means to you.
And it's so funny because they'll reach out about most anything. What should I do in this case? Do you know this case? What about these dates? Where can I go for this? And I'm just like, listen, I'm just the media person. But the difference in what I do is I establish relationships with parents, coaches, athletes. I don't believe in just getting an interview. I'm not a one and done type person. So once I establish that relationship with people, I tell people I believe in keeping up with the student athlete, their family, their parents from the beginning until the end. So you've done your 4 years. I want to know what's going on with you after you graduate. Are you working? Are you playing sports? What are you doing after? And so when I have parents reach out to me, I'm always funny because I had one call me yesterday and I was on my way back from Mississippi and I'm laughing. I'm like, oh, I wonder what she's calling about. And it's some other stuff. And it's amazing when you get a chance to talk to parents. And I'll never forget back in 2018 when I was up in Virginia for HBCU Spirit of America Bowl. And I was basically the only woman, with the exception maybe like one or two in the parents, was the only woman in a room full of guys. So you got basically like an all-star game showcase for HBCUs, and it's nothing but men there, all these athletes and the people that's putting it on. And so and after he done all his thank yous, he said, we must say thank you to Keisha, Kelley. And he goes into this speech and everybody stands up.
Wow.
All you hear is clapping. So you're like, wow. And it's those moments when you know that you've actually done your job. You've done what you said you would do for those student athletes. Because again, it's always about the student athletes. And I tell people, if I never make a dime off of it, if I never got an accolade for it, it never would bother me. I was like, because we do what we do because of the passion. I do what I do because I love the student athletes. I love what they do and what they exemplify. And I want nothing more than to see them succeed. Hence why I started working on working towards becoming a sports agent, because I want to be that voice for those student athletes. People get in that space where they want to be the agent, but are you really working for the client, or are you working just for yourself? So that was part of exactly. That was part of it. And that's one of the things I tell the parents all the time. You still want to be the voice for the student athletes. You still want to speak. And you know how it is. No athlete loves nothing more than to be somewhere seen on social media, on an interview, on some TV or something. So you continue on and you make their parents proud when you're representing them as well.
Yeah. Keisha Kelley, Black College Experience. Keisha, I don't know why I'm on all the personal stuff today. Where did this drive and motivation come from? I've seen you kind of talk about your dad, and you got a twin sister. Is she as driven as you? Where did the drive come from?
My sister absolutely is not into sports like I am. My sister went to Alabama, and my sister does not care about sports. The funny thing is like when we have rival games, and if they beat us, I'll text her and I'll be like, A&M won. And she'll just laugh, and I'll see like some kind of mad face or sad face, and my nephew will laugh. But if we win, it's like, hey, look, I got to rub it in. And so my sister really does not care about sports, like talking about it. She's just like, hi, okay, whatever. But actually, it started around about 2008, 2009. Again, I actually started, for people that don't know, I started actually, I used to do game day. I was a game day interaction. So I used to do game day recruiting. And so what happened was like the fan interaction, they're passing out like all the prizes and stuff. Yeah. I used to do that. So that's why I started like back in 2003. I worked for a National Basketball Developmental League. And so I started doing that. And so in between there, I was doing some writing, some blogging. And to be honest with you, when I actually started really into this passion, I was watching, I actually started in arena football. Arena football is where I started. So it wasn't like I started. I was dating a guy that played arena football. So
Keisha,
I was dating a guy that played arena football.
You were trying to keep an eye on him.
It was just it kind of came from then. I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. So I started, travel, watching the team everywhere. Then I bought season tickets. I was like, all right, seriously. And I was like, you know what, I might actually like this. And then it just kind of went from there. I was a scout. I did a couple of things, and the scouting thing is a whole nother beast. It's a whole nother beast because you actually got to go find people and look for people and keep your eye out for people. So after I got into that, I did some work with some of the players, 501c3s. I was working with a couple of NFL athletes. I was working with their things. And so we were writing about it. And then it was just like, okay. And then in 2011, it was just kind of like, okay, sports is what I want to do, but I was kind of dabbling. I didn't know what I want to do. So I was just reporting sports general, like I still can do. And so it was like, okay, this is what I want to do. Let me get serious about it. And I remember going on to my first broadcast, and I was on by myself. And I was like, wait, okay, who am I supposed to talk to? Because I can only talk about so much stuff. So I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I was so excited, but probably like 5 or 10 minutes in, and then it was like dead air. And someone came in to do dialogue with me. And I was like, okay, thank you for saving me. And then, of course, everybody was calling into the show. So I was like, okay, thank you for saving me. And then something happened. And then after that, I think we went off 2014. I came back to radio, and I've been on radio ever since 2014.
Oh, man. And just expanding daily.
Yeah.
Daily. Now, was Dad an athlete? I know he served in the armed services. Was your father an athlete as well?
The funny thing about my dad was, much like me, my dad was a very outgoing person. Very reserved, but very, very outgoing, and a heart for people. So those are the parts of my dad's personality that I picked up. Now, the outspoken mouth is my mom. Every single day, outspoken mouth is mom. But everything else is totally dad. So the drive to succeed is definitely dad. No, but my dad, he used to call. So he used to officiate sports. He was an officiator. And so me and my twin sister, we would go watch him officiate sports. Softball was his game, but every game, I used to call my dad the parent that thought he had all the students on campus. My dad would coach everybody's child from the sideline. He's hollering and arguing. I'm like, Dad, that's not your kids. Why are you hollering at them? But he's telling them how to play, when to play. He even once he got up into age, in Alabama A&M, because Alabama A&M was only about 8 minutes from our house, that was his thing. Let's go up here and watch football, baseball, basketball, whatever sport it was. My dad was up there watching and coaching, unofficially coaching from the sideline. And if he couldn't go, once he got older and sicker, he started listening to it on the radio, and he was still coaching from the house on that radio from that sideline. I said, Dad, those are not your
radio.
Not your kid, yeah. But in high school, he was still mobile then. So he was very active. I was in band, but he would travel everywhere. So wherever he can go and see a sport, he was going. He was going to see it. He was absolutely going.
Because now I can really understand your passion for the players. Yep. You don't coach other people's kids unofficially from the sideline if you don't have a chance of being better. So
my dad was that coach. I said, Dad, those are not your kids. What are you talking about? And that was like, whatever. And he kept on coaching.
Yeah. Keisha, you have blessed us beyond measure today. We got to get ready to wrap it up. Give us the deets. I know there's tons of places that we can find you, follow you, listen to you, check out what you're doing. And you're doing some amazing stuff that you weren't even doing before. So tell us about it.
Okay, so before we go, I do want to drop these two things. So the first thing I want to drop, and this just happened today. Pepsi announced today that they will become a primary beverage sponsor for SWAC football through 2023. So this is going to be for football and basketball for the championship. This is a 3-year deal. It is a component of the brand racial equality journey, and it's a series of initiatives the corporation launched in April. The pledge is $400 million over 5 years. So, and this is something, of course, that Dion was able to partnership out. So I will give him props on that. He was able to get that out. I was like, I don't care as long as we all benefit. I don't care who was at the table. As long as you using your connections, I'm fine with that. And then the
40 million.
400 million. That's a lot of like, listen, 400 million. Yeah, $400 million over 5 years. So crank it out, do whatever you got to do. We appreciate it. And then on the other side, the HBCU Combine is coming up this weekend in Birmingham at UAB. It's a lot of people slated to be there. We were trying to figure out how to get in there. By the grace of God, I'm going to be there. So I will not, I don't know what other rooms, but we, of course, because of COVID, we won't be able to be in on the actual, the drills and all. But at this point, we will be able to go to the headquarters and do interviews. And I just found out today that one of those people slated to be there is Stephen A. Smith. So I'm trying to get over into the Stephen A. Smith circle. I'm trying to get over there to meet Stephen A. Smith, trying to shake a hand or two with another NABJ member / HBCU alum. I'm trying to get over there with the Stephen A. Smith. So I am, again, seriously, I am headed that way. But if you're looking for me, of course, it's rolling across the bottom of the screen, but I'm blackcollegeexperienceinc.com. I'm on Twitter at Black College EXP, I'm sorry. On Instagram, it's Black College Experience. On Facebook, it's The Black College Experience. And then for some people that just want to send email, it's blackcollegeexperience@gmail.com.
I mean, I thank you for dropping those major pieces right there. Like you said, 400 million.
Yes, 400 million.
Got, unfortunately couldn't do it last year. So I'm glad to see they're doing it again. Anything that you can drop out of that, we'll be following, and I'll be announcing here. And I'm excited for those young people. But Keisha, I thank God for you. And I mean that sincerely. You have blessed us beyond measure, and we call you blessed. So please have a blessed rest of your day. And thanks for dropping by again on the lunch break.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Keisha Kelley, man, not many people do it better, and nobody has a bigger heart, especially like she said, for those student athletes. And I mean it. Y'all keep her covered, keep her lifted, follow her, and keep her supported. Because, man, she's doing amazing things. We got to get ready to go. Donnie McClurkin and the Donnie McClurkin Show up next. Donnie gives you the best in gospel music, latest in the gospel music industry. Donnie does his stuff every Monday through Friday from 2 to 3. A little programming note, I won't be in tomorrow. Got something special happening with my son. Very good stuff. I'll tell you about it when I get back on Wednesday. But don't forget Dr. Sylvia Cole and Called to Inspire tomorrow And then, of course, Linda J will be in. So it'll be good stuff going on. I may call in and give y'all an update, especially after tonight's championship game. But as always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Wear your mask, wash your hands, sanitize everything around you. Give people their 6 feet. And when you see that racism, kill it, not the person, not the people, but the racism. Y'all be blessed. We'll talk to you again on Wednesday. Take care.
The legendary 1140 AM KYOK Conroe and 92.3 FM K222CX Houston. Are you ready?
All right, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Man, what an awesome interview with Keisha Kelley. Wasn't that phenomenal? Man, please pray for her. Keep her covered. She's got to keep doing what she's doing because she's birthing people out, who will follow in her footsteps, myself included. And she's also breaking ground. So her work is necessary. I know y'all think I'm being melodramatic, but I'm not. She's doing it for women. She's doing it for women of color. She's doing it for Black women. She's doing it for HBCUs. She's doing it for those student athletes. There's a lot of legacy tied to Keisha Kelley and what she's doing. So don't take it lightly. If you're a spiritual person, you know what to do. But as always, not this, just this. Y'all be blessed. We'll talk to you again on Wednesday, okay? Y'all take care.